And this is the reason why I'm selling all my snakes, adults and breeders. And I'll be doing some of that on a Palmstreet live tomorrow. I've Aloha, top of the morning, friends and family. How you wonderful, beautiful people doing today? On this channel, we upload one beautifully edited masterpiece once a week. However, this video is uncut. And in today's uncut video, well, you saw the title, you saw the coming up little teaser thing in my uncut video. I've had a lot of anxiety about making this video. Just today, and maybe years past. Who knows how long I've been having anxiety about this type of video. Something that I've heard a lot, especially in the last couple years, and I've heard it actually throughout the entire time that I've been back from Hawaii and keeping snakes in this hobby. From time to time, you hear it again, much more in the last couple years. Is like I'm selling all my snakes, and I'm closer and actually going to be doing some of that that we'll talk about in this video. And some of the reasons that I've heard are good, and I some of my reasons myself are good. I actually inspired by as much as it was, kind of a tough video for him to make, I have no doubt. But Tim over at Intrepid Exotics watched his video the other day about he's, basically rehoming all of his animals. And I know it's hard. There's ego. I think that's the reason that I have had so much anxiety about making a video like this. Is there's ego and there's identity. All wrapped up in this reptile keeping life. Even at summer camp this last week, a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's the snake man." So it's like people know me as the snake guy. So there's the idea of like not being that anymore is like it's part of your identity, and then also part of it is like, well, you don't want to be one of those people. It's like, well, everything hit the fan and I'm out, and no, I don't think anybody really wants to do that. Uh, and so that's I think the reason behind a lot of the anxiety of making this video. Also, before I get into a little more of the meat of it, I wanted to apologize for a couple things. I totally meant to make a post saying that I was going to be completely out of service range and time last week, and so I didn't mean to worry anybody. But I appreciate those of you that reached out to like Dave and other people. Like, is Brian okay? No, I was just outside, up on top of a mountain, doing youth counseling, and I didn't have any service up there in between packing up from Saturday at Pomona to getting back down here and shooting up the mountain to where there was no service. I basically had I did there should have been time along the way to make a post, but just all the stuff I didn't make a post. And also the other thing I want to apologize for is like for whatever reason that short that I made on April 1st of this year is starting to get put out to a lot of people like in June and July. So people are like, "Oh man, are you completely out? You're quitting YouTube, all that." And like I've done that every year at April's first because I've got a problem where I feel like I need to really take advantage of April Fool's Day and really just drive home with some gnarly stuff. And a lot of it comes from a place of truth sometimes. So it makes for a really good selling of the joke. The reality is I'll probably always upload videos to YouTube just because I just love it too much. I just have way too much fun with this. And that's part of it. So the last couple years, my financial situation has just been a roller coaster of fluctuation, and that is stressful, of course. Trying to raise a family of four kids and a wife, and in California, it's no easy feat. I've toyed with the idea of breeding rodents because I think that I agree with a lot of people who say that if you're going to do it as a business, you probably should be breeding your own rodents, and I think I agree with that. I just don't have the time or the space to do that, or the will for that matter. I don't want to breed rodents. Um, and when I first toyed with the idea of making snake breeding into a business, that was about 2018, and I had a business plan written out. And then right at that time, I got my first sponsorship for the channel, and that kind of changed the course. Luckily, because I don't know that I would have been able to do this as a business to start with. So I'm glad that it turned out that way. That said, like just this coming month, like my finances are basically getting sliced in half by more, in more than half. And so I've got some things out there. I've got some feelers out there. I'm hoping to figure it out. And I'm hopeful that it will. Uh, that said, I just don't think it's been coming for a while. I don't think I need to keep as many snakes as I do keep, and I don't think you know, there's so many snakes I've kept just because I named them, and because I name every single snake that I keep for more than like a few weeks, and so they all have names, so that makes it hard. Um, but I'm finally getting okay with the idea of like actually selling some, especially since I'm not willing to breed rodents. And again, with the video stuff and traveling to way more shows than I ever did in a year, all that tied in with the ever increasing price of rodents is is a number of reasons why I'm going to be selling more snakes than I planned on selling at any point, as far as like adults and breeders. And I'll be doing some of that on a Palmstreet live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Sorry, 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's 4 p.m. Pacific time. Link in the description. Just go down there. I'm not going to show you which snakes there's going to be, but there's going to be at least 5 or 6 snakes that I let go of tomorrow. Some of my other snakes are with Mountain Man Constrictors. They brought them to the show there, and just follow wherever Mountain Man Constrictors is going with some of my hatchlings from last year. They're going to those shows. You can find them at the shows they're going to. I think in Wyoming and maybe Idaho was where they're from. So yeah, there's a bunch of other things that I feel like I want to say with this video. And oh, thank the Lord, I actually hit record. Um, you know, I'm I'll think I'll always have snakes. I don't think I'll ever get to a point like I've got that carpet python there. I've got the indigo snake. I've got scrub python. I've got this pair of blood pythons. I'm gonna keep some of my very my projects of ball pythons. I think I'll always breed ball pythons in some sort of capacity, and it's always been a hobby for me. And so I'm also trying to be realistic with myself and be like, bro, how much are you willing to like drive your family into debt for a hobby? I'm not willing to. So that's what it comes down to. And hopefully good comes out of it where, there's some folks that are getting into it and they would like a little jump start with some breeder females, because that's basically the bulk of what I'm going to let go tomorrow is breeder females. Um, I just held on to it. I have a hard time letting go. I should have let go of them a long time ago, but I've just was holding on to it because ego, identity, and just fear of being judged for letting some snakes go, which I don't really have that many. Unfortunately, it didn't get into like a super hoarder situation. I just have as many as I'm just barely able to take care of, and barely able to take care of is the key word in that sentence. I want to be able to easily take care of things. And again, with my changing schedule, changing finances, which will hopefully be mitigated soon, but all that stuff to say, um, I'm not going to have to say what I've heard so many people say. I get it. I totally get it, but that's the reason, this is the reason why I'm selling all my snakes. I've I don't think I'll ever sell all my snakes, but at this time I might get close. I'll have enough for educational animals, a few of the pairings I want to do, and yeah, so I'm going to be doing that for the next while until I get down to a number that I think is reasonable, to where I'm not spending thousands on rodents for snakes that I'm really like. I paired like 3 snakes this season because it's a hobby for me, and I'm not like looking to produce enough to like support a business. I'm grateful it didn't go to business for me because I don't think it was for me. Fortunately, it's video stuff, and that's taking up more of my time, which is great. Traveling to shows, doing video, and doing these different things. Still being very much part of the hobby in as big a way as I think I ever will be, just with less snakes in my snake room. So yeah, I think it's good. I don't know why I had so much anxiety about making this video. It's really not that big of a deal, I don't think. Well, you know what? I guess it kind of is kind of a big deal. Like these snakes that I've kept, I guess I had at some point thoughts and visions of like I'll have all these snakes until they pass away naturally of natural causes, and that's not the case. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow on the live stream on Palm Street, and I think that's it. Next video will be another Super Show video, and then maybe some herping videos after that, and then who knows what. Thanks for watching. See you on the live stream tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll see you on the next video. Aloha. Uh, P.S. Don't let anyone ever shame you for selling some snakes, because I feel like that's a thing That shouldn't happen.